Shrunumanti kathayanti cha tapanti vividhastapa naitan madgata chetasaha. Will anyone like to read, please? Okay, we'll read the synonyms, translation, and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Synonyms: Mat Ashraya, about me; Katah, story; Mrishta, delightful; Sharanvanti, they hear; Kathayanti, they chant; Cha, and; Tapanti, inflict suffering; Vividah, various; Tapa, the material miseries; No, do not; Etan, unto them; Matkata, fixed on me; Chetasaha, their thoughts. Translation: engaged constantly in chanting and hearing about me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sadhus do not suffer from material miseries because they are always filled with thoughts of my pastimes and activities. Purport: there are multifarious miseries in material existence, those pertaining to the body and the mind, those imposed by other living entities, and those imposed by natural disturbances. But a sadhu is not disturbed by such miserable conditions because his mind is always fixed with Krishna consciousness. And thus, he does not like to talk about anything but the activities of the Lord. Maharaj Ambrisha did not speak of anything but the pastimes of the Lord. Vachamsi Vaikuntha Gunanu Varnane, Bhagavatam 9:4-18. He engaged his words only in glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sadhus are always interested in hearing about the activities of the Lord or his devotees. Since they are filled with Krishna consciousness, they are forgetful of miserable material miseries. I'll read this again. Sadhus are always interested in hearing about the activities of the Lord or his devotees. Since they are filled with Krishna consciousness, they are forgetful of the material miseries. Ordinary conditioned souls, being forgetful of the activities of the Lord, are always full of anxieties and material tribulations. On the other hand, since the devotees always engage in the topics of the Lord, they are forgetful of the miseries of material existence. Hare Krishna. We'll chant the Mangala Charan prayer. If you know it, please unmute and chant alongside with me. Om Agniyantimirandasya
Tasmai Shri Gurudeva Namaha.
Adishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Kamalam Shri Kurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrata Sahagana Bhagavan Amritam Tam Sachivam Sadvaitam Savdutam Parichana Sahitam Krishna Chandevam Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Sindhu Tapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Radhe Vrinda
Ravaneshwari Vishwanuste Devi
Hari Priya
Hari Priya
Karubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Nam
Namine
Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirviksha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshisharine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama,
Rama.
Rama, Hare Hare. Good morning, dear devotees.
Good
So,
morning.
Hare Krishna. So today, the learning focus is going to be understanding the root cause of miseries and anxieties, and then why and how Krishna consciousness is the solution. Now, today is Thursday, 12th. Tomorrow is Friday, the 13th. So, in the Western culture, Friday the 13th is considered to be a very unlucky day. All bad things happen. And, in Hindi, there's the word saying Panvati. So that's the day. But actually, this entire material existence itself is Panvati. If you look at the situation, and all of us have an up close and personal experience with all these miseries, different types of miseries, as has been explained by Prabhupada in its purport to this verse. So we'll understand, what's the root cause. If you have to figure out, what the problem is, solution, you need to figure out what the problem is, right? If you need solutions to a problem, you figure out. What happens is we find solutions to our problems. However, all these solutions are simply gateways to other problems. So we solve something, but kuch or something else happens. You get it? Some other problem pops its head up. So we'll understand what's the root cause. So if you just are not treating the symptoms, but you're actually treating the cause, then there is some kind of permanency in the solution that you have, and no side effects. Like medicines you take, so many warnings are there, side effect ye hote hai. In fact, there is a medicine I take for my diabetes, and one of the side effects is death. So this is the situation of the material condition. We'll understand then the root cause of miseries and anxiety. Hare Krishna. Okay, so this is a very nice pictorial representation. So you see, this is the problem, right? And what you have is like a tree. We see only what is above the ground level. Below kya ho raha hai, we have no idea about it. Similarly, our problems, we only see these symptoms of our problem. And that's what we're all busy engaged in trying to cure these symptoms, take care of these symptoms. But the moment I do this symptom, another one pops up over here, another one pops up over here, either a new one or because of the same symptom, it pops up over here. But this cause is wholly unknown. And because it is unknown, we're not doing anything much about it. Hare Krishna. So here, so you see problem, miseries and anxiety. What are the symptoms? You have pain, depression, bewilderment, all these things which happen over here. Why does this happen? Now, there are three main reasons why this happens. Now, this is what you call the surface cause, but then below the surface cause is the root cause. So there are these three types of problems, caused by our own mind and our body. This material nature is such, it is problem giving. Okay, Dukhalaya Ashashvatam. Yeah, this is the Adi Adhyatmika, what they call in Sanskrit, problems caused by the miseries caused by our own mind. We can control it. We have control over our mind. Then problem caused by other jivas. It could be other human beings, or it could be a tiny thing like mosquito. Radha Gopinath Prabhu in his class once was giving in, the Gita, study of Gita. He says, you ask somebody, how are you? First class, no problem. So not having a problem is considered to be a great situation. But if you dig a little deeper, acha, how come? No, that opposite building, that neighbor's son, he plays the music too loud in the night. Or, they dug a nala nearby and all the mosquitoes have started coming. Everything else is fine. So, other jivas who cause problem. To that, we have a little bit of an extent. So let's say if it is my son who's blasting his music in his room, at least I can go and, tell him, hey, put it down, cut it, some control is there, but not full control. And then we have natural disturbances, okay? And these natural disturbances, there is no control, okay? Of course, you have to be a Maharati like Arjuna who could control even the wind. And incidentally, he said he couldn't control his mind, which is fully controllable. But we'll discuss how to control this. So natural disturbances like earthquakes, tsunamis, tornadoes, absolutely no control. We are just at their mercy. Now, what is this root cause is because we have a relation with Krishna and we've forgotten it. And in this forgetfulness, we've had this envy. So if you see, it's all interconnected. We started by making misuse of a free will, gave birth to envy, with envy, forgetfulness. So this is what the root cause of the problem. So if we understand this very well, then what the solution is proposed will make sense. Hare Krishna. Okay, now you see this, an example. The economy will go into a recession. Now the war is happening in Israel and Palestine. So it's very well it could get into a recession, right? Now you see how from economy will go into recession all the way. What if my daughter gets pregnant? This is the nature of my mind. This is how it works. My mind means all of our material minds. One thing leads to another, It becomes like a snowball avalanche effect. Oh, economy will go into, I may lose my job, no income. I have diabetes, healthcare nahi hai. What will I do? What if I die because I can't afford? Who will look after my wife and children? There's a very interesting experience I had early on when we came new to this country. I want to do something and all that, typical immigrant story. Used to work crazy. And Madhupati had just started, Prabhu had just started the Bhakti Vriksha. So I had this big fear that, I'm a young man in my 30s. That time we didn't have Sachi, it was just Rohil and Sachi Rani. And, what if I die? I had this thing, what if I die? What will happen to them in a foreign country? Aisa vaisa kya hoega? So then I was quite worried. And, I spoke with Madhupati Prabhu that, I have this fear. I'm always in this anxiety. What if I die? Who will look after my family? And he asked me a very simple question, which really opened up my perspective and put things, in its proper place. He says, okay, you die tomorrow. You think your family will also die with you? So I said, no, I don't think that will happen. So he says, life will go on, no? I said, yeah. He says, you think you're the one who is providing for them. You think you're the one who's protecting them. That is your misconception. Krishna is there. He's taking care of everyone. So if you have just a little bit of faith, all this anxiety and misery will go away. And that day onwards, it made me kind of fearless. I won't say I'm fearless of death, but that anxiety and that thing which is all the time eating your mind. So this is what happens is, there could be stimuli from outside, events which we have no control over, or it could be our own mind playing games with us. So here's how miseries and anxieties, they all the time are bombarding us, physical, or it could be psychological. Hare Krishna. Now, Toyota, in these management programs, they have these training that they send you to. Actually, these training programs is just seriously, it's time pass. So if you say 100%, I would say about 20% has a value. Not to say the content doesn't have value, but the participants' attention, etc. And I notice, and I'm the biggest culprit, the same thing happens here even in devotional Sangha. When there is a program happening, correct? Or if there is somebody giving class, the attention with which we pay to that program, the focus that we pay to, how our mind is completely focused on that subject matter, to that proportion, we will understand and it will bring about a transformation. Material subject or spiritual subject. So if, there is a program and someone is doing pravachan, someone comes into the hall, everyone's head will turn, who's come? Someone gets up and goes, everyone's head will turn and go, who's getting up and going? And then the mind will be thinking, look, that person is leaving, no manners, Maharaj is giving class. And then the mind starts running here and there. The lecture is going on. That is what is happening. So there, one thing which stuck with me was the Toyota management principle for what they call root cause analysis, the 5 whys, WHY. If there is a problem, you ask a question. Typically, we ask just one question, maybe 2 questions, and then we find a solution to that. But actually, if you need to get to a root cause, the study says that you should go at least 5 or 6 questions deep. So whatever answer you get, you question that. So like here, why do I feel so fearful? Because I have no control of the situation. Why don't I have control? Because I have limited capabilities and influence. Why do I have limited capacity? Because I have no one else whom I can depend upon. Why can't I depend on anyone? Because everyone is in the same boat with me. They are in their own agendas. They have their own capacity. Everyone is like me. Yeah. Why can't I depend on anyone else? They have their own, that's a repetition. Then the 5th one is, then if everyone is a doer, but can't control much, can't do much or control much, is there a doer who can do and control everything? So from where it starts with fearful and anything in your life, if there is something which is a problem, please ask question, and whatever answer you get, question that answer, and you will see when you go through these iterations, by the 5th, 6th, or whatever may be the nature of that problem, you'll get to what the root cause is. Then if I have this understanding that we all think we are the doers, but we can't do or control much, then there has to be someone who is a doer, who can do and control everything. We think, that the president is the most powerful man, or, the richest man has a lot of power. Yes, but again, that is limited. It is not ultimate. Yeah, they also are under the control of this threefold miseries. So when we get to this, that is the beginning of self-realization, and self-realization brings about Krishna consciousness. So Queen Kunti in her prayers taught that problems are opportunities to get more absorbed and therefore closer to Krishna. She used to pray, hey Krishna, give me problems, give me more and more problems. Because usually a mindset is when we have problems, we go running to Krishna, which is fine, whatever be the reasons. It's one of the 4 reasons why the jiva runs to Krishna, comes to Krishna to re-establish his relation. But because of our conditioning, because of our selfish and greedy nature, the moment that is taken care of, we turn our back away from him and everything is back to normal. So back to abnormal actually, but we call it normal. Hare Krishna. So we'll now understand that, when we see that there has to be a supreme doer and a supreme controller, So when we find out more about that, we try to learn more and more about that. That process is Krishna consciousness, and how that takes away miseries, anxieties forever, not temporarily, and no side effect. So here is a nice picture which says that regret won't change our past. We always say, oh, I could have, I would have, I should have. Array, instead of engineering, I should have done medicine. Oh, I should have joined the army. Oh, I could have done this, I could have done that. All these things which come in our mind. And we are sitting here having a lot of regrets. But past won't change, it's gone. Yeah. And then anxiety is worrying about the future. Arey, kal kya hoega? This will happen, that will happen. Oh, what happens? My 401 will tank. Ye hoega, wo hoega. Yeah. Only action. They say words don't have much value. So there is a thought, then there is a word, and then there is a deed, the action. So action is the only way you can change something. That's it. Just thinking about it and bada bada baat karne se kuch hoega hi nahi. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So when we have the spiritual knowledge and we put it into practice, that is Vigyan. Gyan and Vigyan. Vigyan is spiritual, practical application of spiritual knowledge. Okay, we'll get then the realization. Of course, we have an intellectual appreciation that I'm not the body, I'm the soul, I'm part of Krishna, all this we have. But that realization is missing, because once we have been acting on that platform, Hare Krishna, once we have that understanding, that realization, then we will actually be, how do you say, we know what it means. I'm not the body, I'm the soul. And therefore, the practice, putting into practice is the key to Krishna consciousness. Yeah. So this is what Krishna consciousness is. It is reviving our relationship with Krishna. We've forgotten Krishna. To reignite that spiritual spark, is called Krishna consciousness, and it has knowledge, and that knowledge put into practice. Just doing practice only is not enough. Romapad Maharaja said, knowledge is required so that we can practice it properly. Practice is required. So whatever is that knowledge, we can get realization. Hare Krishna. So if we get this, self-realization will bring to the question, who am I? And then naturally it will lead to who is Krishna. So here we all know this, it's just a revision. I'm not the body, I'm the soul, Satchitananda. I'm infinitesimal, Krishna is infinite, he's the whole. And because, I'm the part, it's my natural position to serve the whole, the Jivera Swarup, Nityara Krishna Das paradigm. I'm owned, controlled, and meant for the enjoyment of the whole. So all this is there, and we could list a few more over here. We all very well understand it. Then we also know who is Krishna. Om Purna Madam Purna Midam. He is the complete whole. Even complete wholes come out of him. He doesn't diminish. He still remains this complete whole. Whatever there is, there was, is, will be ever. All that there is Krishna and Krishna's. Yeah. He is the source of everything, the causeless cause of all causes, Sarva Karana Karanam, proprietor, controller, and the enjoyer, the supreme, absolute, not relative like you and me. So this is the background. Who I am, who is Krishna. We have this knowledge. Now, how do you put it into practice to get realization? Knowledge doesn't do much. It doesn't move, as they say, the needle much. If you really want a transformation, we want a 180-degree transformation. We are in this material condition. Spiritual is the exact opposite of material. We want to come all the way over here. So for that, it is, when you're getting the knowledge, it's like this. But when you put it into practice, it revs it up, and all the way those transformations happen. So here's how we get it done. Here's the jiva. When I get connected to the source, Ishopanishad, Om Purnam, reservoir of all bliss. Krishna is the source. So, why? Why does Krishna consciousness remove miseries? Here's why. Om Purna, Madam Purna, Midam, everything is there. So the source of all bliss, Rama, you get connected to that. Just like you put a iron rod, it's cold. You put it in fire, it'll acquire the properties of fire. It becomes red hot. It starts emanating light also. Heat and light, the two attributes of fire. That's how it is. So you get connected to the reservoir of all bliss. You also become all blissful. Controller, right? Sarva Karana Karanam. He's the controller of both spirit and matter. So whatever is there, because of our karma. Yesterday, Gokul Priya Mata gave such an excellent class on Shri Ishopanishad, and she was discussing this, the aspect of being controlled, both the spirit and matter. Krishna is the controller of that. And when we, because of our karma, we go through so many things, good and bad. There was this movie song, I remember as a kid, Bure Kaam Ka Bura Natija Sunbe Chata Bol Bhatija, something like that. So, that way. But Krishna takes personal charge, and he can control everything. Tsunamis and earthquakes and your internal problems and all are not even a tiny, tiny, minuscule speck for him. And he gives that promise, right? My devotee will never perish in Bhagavad Gita. What happens when this connection takes place? The person becomes fearless, without any misery, and full of bliss. Hare Krishna. So devotees, we have 3-4 minutes. If you have any question, we can address it now, or you could post it in Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Okay, over to you, Madhupati Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Looks like Madhupati is not here.
I think Prabhu must be busy with some other seva. So we can bring this to a close. Let us chant 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare. Let us say prayers to Lord Nrsingadev, protect us.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna, Madhupati Prabhu. We are calling for you. If you can.
Oh, Hare. Let's thank everybody and wish them nice day and nice and healthy day in front of them today. And let's offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Shri Nrsingo, Jai
Jai
Nrsingo, Jai Jai Nrsingo, Praladesha Jaya Padma Bringam,
Abringa,
Ugravira Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatam Mukham, Narsingam Vishnu
Bhadram Vidyam
Bhadram
Namamyam.
Nrsinga Bhagavana ki Jai, Prahlad
Jai,
Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the Samar Vaishnavas. Vancha
Vacha
kalpatarubhyascha kripa
kalpatarubhyasya
sindhu
kripa
vacha
sindhubhyacha
the
Nitanam
pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo Namo
Namo
Namaha.
Namah.
Vaiஷ்णविंद की जय,
Jai,
श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय,
Jai,
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर
Jai.
प्रेमानंदे हरि
Hari
Hari
बोल।
Hari.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amrita and the Prabhupada. Wonderful class. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.